Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. A friend gave me this power bank that he no longer wants. It's defective. It's the Denman model GP19, and it has basically a typical output, old style output of 5 volts, 2 amps. And it has basically these 4 attached cables. This is a typical USB, micro USB. This is Type C, and this is the Apple Lightning. And the C, he tells me that the C output, the cable doesn't work anymore. Probably from, you know, constantly removing it and putting it. Eventually, I think the cable just went bad. Anyway, I had no interest in keeping it as is. I wanted to modernize it, and so I have this module that supports power delivery. It has just one USB-C, both for charging and for output, up to, I believe, 22.5 watts. So it can do like 9 volts at a little over 2 amps. And it has a nice display here of the battery percentage. And so I'm looking forward to test this. And so I'm basically going to use this enclosure, and I'll explain what this is in a moment, with the battery that came with it. Now this battery was rated at 12,500, he told me. Or was it even written here? I'm not sure. Let me check. Oh no, it's not 12,000. This is 10,000. 10,000 milliamp hours. We can get this to focus. There we go. Now I measured the internal resistance of the battery, and it's slightly high. It's around 80 milliohms. So I don't believe I will get the 10,000 milliamps. It might be like 9,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood, which is still quite nice. So that's basically what this project is all about. Now, what I have done so far, with the help of my cousin, he has a Dremel and was able to cut some pieces here. We basically did an opening on this side. I think you can see that opening there. Because this module, I'm going to make it sit down something like this. And he also opened a hole for me here for the button. This is a push button right here. And here is where the USB-C out will be. And he also cut an opening. I know it doesn't look great, but I don't care. It's for my use. He made an opening here. And so this will be something like that, so that we can see the percentage of the battery. And we put, he cut a couple of pieces of wood here, and we used epoxy and epoxied it down so that this module can sit on it like this, as I said, like this. And I'm planning to use hot glue to glue the module here. Now the reason I want to use hot glue and not epoxy is to allow me to, in the future, if I need to do any repairs, or if I want to replace this module, a bit of hot air, and I can remove this existing module from it. With epoxy, it would be impossible. You'd have to destroy the module. What I want to do today is basically solder 2 wires to the plus and minus battery points here, and then connect this to the battery and just run a test, make sure everything works properly. Alright, I have a couple of wires here. Let's strip them and thin them. Alright, let's solder the wires to the battery. The plus is here. So let's see if it will come on. We may have to plug in the USB-C for it to activate. Oh, no, it came on. I don't know if you saw that. Press the button again. 81%. Okay, now, okay, I can see it clearly, but on the camera, it's not very clear. What are we going to test? Let me get, here's a USB-C cable. What am I going to charge? Alright, so let's test it on my pad here. Yeah, I'm hoping it's more than 5 volts. 5 volts. Ah, it's going up. There we go. Focus. Yeah, almost 9 volts and 1.6 amps for a total of 14.5 watts. The pad is at 78%, so if it's any lower than that, it might even be a higher amp. I don't know. But this is what I would expect from power delivery. So I'm very happy with the results. And as you can see here, okay, put this to one side. Where's my filter? Here's my filter. As you can see, we went from 81, now we're at 79. I know it's hard to read, but yeah, I wish I could find polarizing film, but I can't find it. I don't have it. Anyway, I can read it. It's super clear. I mean, I can see the 79 very clearly. It's just the camera. And now we can test charging this battery. Let me bring my USB-C meter online so we can test the charging. Let me set that up. Alright, we're back, and I've connected my USB meter. You can see it on the screen. I'm going to plug in right now. You should see the amps, basically the green number should go up, and the volt. I plugged in. What happened to my camera? Oh, it's back. And there you go, 9 volts at 2 amps. So it's charging at around 18 watts. Alright, so I think everything is set, and we'll return to this tomorrow once the epoxy here has completely cured and set, and we'll continue this project. Alright, so it's the next day now, and the epoxy is super solid and cured. So let's go ahead and do the hot gluing of the module. I'm going to fill out, there are some deep caps here, I'm going to fill them first, and then let's see how well it works. Let's start with this and see how well it goes. And this is what we have. I'm going to need to try and fill these gaps a bit more. Alright, so I put a bit of electric tape here to cover the port, and I'm gonna drip a bit more hot glue in the opening. I know it's hard to show you on camera, but yeah, in the opening here, and the opening here. Alright, so it came out well. I had to trim uh, here a little bit because the hot glue was stopping the battery from sitting in properly. So I did a bit of trimming there. Now we're just gonna put the battery in, and this is what we have. This is the temperature sensor, which I need to, I'll probably use some Kapton tape and just tape it here somewhere on the battery. And then we have the negative terminal and the positive to the battery. I have to solder the minus here and the plus here. So let's do just alright, now I'm just gonna take some time to route the wires a bit better. I did a bit of a tidying up, what I said I would do. I taped the heat sensor to the battery here, and I adjusted the wire in here, and so this is pretty much done. And let's see. A lot of the clips here were broken, so yeah. So on this side and this corner also, it's not held on very well. I will need to do some hot gluing. This corner and this corner. A bit of hot glue, and then sandwich it down. But otherwise, it's holding fairly well. Alright, let's press our button. Why does my camera keep disconnecting? I don't know. Let's press the button. Yeah, there we go. 84. I know it's hard to see it, but I can see it very clearly. And let's do our bring up the USB meter. Okay, it's on the screen. And let's try charging. This is coming from my charger. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some adjustment. The USB port is a bit hidden there, so I need to carve up the cover.
Oh, what is that? What is that? What is that? Hmm? Just tell me what is that?
I think when I added the hot glue, under the board, it pushed it up, and it's going to be a bit hard to adjust that because I need it to be solid. So I'm just going to have to trim the top part of the lid. Let me do that offline, and I'll be back. Alright, so I carved out the opening a bit. I don't have a Dremel, but I used my grinding pen. And then I put some hot glue in the corners to seal it a little bit better. Okay. So now the USB-C plug is visible. I know there's a bit of an opening here, but I don't have a strong enough clamp to hold it down. But it's fairly solid. So, all right, let's do our testing quickly. That's the USB meter back on the screen, and let's see what happens. Okay, and if you see on the screen, 9 volts, 10 amps, 2 amps. And once again, the thing shifted to the right. I'm going to have to find a solution for that. It says 84%. I don't know that we will be able to. No, it doesn't. It's not very clear on the screen, but it's 84%. And I'll wait until it's 85, and then we'll call this project done. And here we go. We have 85%. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.